On the run, police want to talk with this man right there about a fire that sent 2 firefighters to the hospital. Sean.
Karen, we've got thunderstorms that are just off to our north. Will they be invading for our evening commute? Paula?
We're going to take you inside a breakfast roundtable that happened this morning with a cabinet member who got an earful to take back to Washington, D.C.
A newly released video shows exactly how a group of inmates broke out of jail in California. But we begin this hour with breaking news in Trenton. That is where the dive team pulled an 11-year-old boy out of the Trenton Channel. Officials say the boy fell into the water about 1 o'clock this afternoon and was unable to get out. He was underwater by the time emergency crews arrived and was pulled out an hour later. His condition is unknown. We will keep you updated as more information becomes available. A federal grand jury indictment exposes a massive corruption case involving Fiat Chrysler Automobiles and the United Auto Workers Union. Monica Morgan, the wife of former UAW Vice President General Holyfield, is charged, along with former FCA Labor Relations Chief Al Iacobelli and others on his staff. Iacobelli allegedly funded a jet-set lifestyle for the Holyfields to the tune of over $1 million. They're also charged with tax evasion. Local 4 business editor Rod Maloney is looking into this case, and he'll have a full update on Local 4 News at 6. A search is underway for a man wanted in connection to a fire that sent 2 Detroit firefighters to the hospital today. Take a look. That's the guy we're talking about. Our cameras were rolling this morning on Minnick Street near Joy Road when the man took off after police tried to question him. Police say he may know the person who lives at that home on Minnick that was intentionally set on fire this morning. 2 firefighters suffered multiple burns who are responding to that fire. They are expected to be okay. Ford has released its second quarter earnings today. Profits rose 4% compared to last year. Ford brought in $2 billion in net profit with a total revenue of $37 billion, on par with Wall Street expectations. Today, the Pistons and Flagstar Bank announced a new partnership that will add a small new detail to the team's jerseys. Do you notice it there? The new deal sees Flagstar Bank now serving as the Pistons' first ever jersey sponsor. So as part of that deal, a Flagstar Bank sponsorship patch will display on the upper corner of the jerseys worn by Pistons players. The Pistons are the 10th NBA team to do so. Time now for our first look at the forecast, and I guess you'd say it's kind of like a perfect little summer day out there, Ben.
Yeah, when you see that temperature in the corner, it says 79, you're thinking, hey, not too bad, but we've got some humidity to deal with, and we'll talk more about that in a second, but there are thunderstorms out there on 4 Live radar, and these are rolling through just the northern edge of our north zone. So if you're in Sanilac County, you've got a couple showers out there just north of Deckerville, north of Sandusky, and it looks like probably a few more from this little line that's going to start moving further to the east. So that, I think, is the only spot that's going to be getting wet tonight as these thunderstorms continue to weaken. The rest of us get our chance tomorrow as that front gets closer, but the humidity is still going up. In fact, we'll probably top out right around 80 degrees here this evening, falling to 72 by midnight. And we'll talk about where we go from here coming up. Karen?
President Trump today made it clear transgender people are no longer welcome to serve in the U.S. military, and the ban is provoking a strong reaction. Devin Skillion is live in the newsroom this afternoon with more on this controversy. Devin.
Yeah, Karen, currently up to 7,000 transgender people are serving in the military. They've been able to serve openly since last year, but that does appear to have changed now in the span of 3 tweets from President Trump, and here they are. First quote, after consultation with my generals and military experts, please be advised that the United States government will not accept or allow transgender individuals to serve in any capacity in the U.S. military. Our military must be focused on decisive and overwhelming victory and cannot be burdened with the tremendous medical costs and disruption that transgender in the military would entail. The ACLU issued a statement pretty quickly that reads in part, let us be clear. This has been studied extensively and the consensus is clear. There are no cost or military readiness drawbacks associated with allowing trans people to fight for their country. The president is trying to score cheap political points on the backs of military personnel who have put their lives on the line for their country. Statement goes on to say the ACLU is exploring all the options now for fighting the ban. But this afternoon, as you might expect, Republicans and Democrats both reacting to the ban. This afternoon, here's some of their thoughts.
President Trump has chosen this day to commit an act of cowardice It was a cowardly act, the way he did it and especially what he did.
My attitude is they're human beings, they have every right to it, and I don't see any problem with that.
Well, I think you ought to treat everybody fairly and you ought to give everybody a chance to serve.
Now, the press spokesperson for the White House, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, insisted today the president's decision is purely a military one. In the past year, around 250 service members have applied to change their gender classification in the military's personnel system. But when she was asked today during the White House press briefing, Karen, what do we do with transgender soldiers that are in the service right now? Do they suddenly come home, get kicked out of the service? What? She really didn't have an answer and said that that still has to be worked out. Back to you.
Obviously, lots of people wondering an answer to that.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Devin. Well, first at 4, we're on top of stories making headlines around the world. Today is day 2 of the Senate's debate to dismantle Obamacare after Vice President Mike Pence cast a tie-breaking vote Tuesday to open debate on the reform issue. Today, both sides came out swinging.
We'll work through an open amendment process. I know members in both parties have health care ideas they'd like to offer. If you've got one, bring it to the floor.
But they know it's the wrong thing to do substantively. They know it's the wrong thing to do politically, and we have a darn good chance to beat this.
Today, senators will consider an Obamacare repeal bill that was originally vetoed back in 2015. If approved, the bill will begin repealing parts of Obamacare 2 years from now. Congressman Steve Scalise has been released from a Washington, D.C. hospital. Scalise has been at MedStar Washington since getting shot back on June 14th during that congressional baseball practice. The Louisiana congressman has undergone several surgeries for his injuries. A statement released today by the hospital says Scalise is in good spirits and is looking forward to return to work. For now, Scalise is in an intensive inpatient rehabilitation program. TSA changing how it screens electronics for domestic flights right here in the U.S. TSA says it will require all electronic devices larger than a cell phone to be removed from carry-on bags and placed in their own separate bin for X-ray screening with nothing on top or below the device. TSA says it's implementing that screening process after intelligence officials suggested terrorists have found better ways to hide explosives in electronics. A woman who helps run a very big business, the WWE, was in town today to listen to the concerns of small business owners. Paula Tutman was there as the head of President Trump's Small Business Administration heard what local entrepreneurs really want.
I think any of us who spend any time at all in Detroit can walk around and see the difference. But here's the important thing that's going on right now. The White House, Washington, D.C., sending a cabinet member here to take a look to see for herself. A roundtable listening tour with the head of the nation's Small Business Administration, Administrator Linda McMahon, better known for WrestleMania and as a billionaire wrestling mogul of World Wrestling Entertainment fame.
When the president called me, when he was the president-elect, he said, look, I want somebody in this job that knows what it's like to build the business.
She was brought to Detroit with a partnership between the SBA Michigan District Office and Great Lakes Women's Business Council. Today, McMahon gets a close-up look at how women are fueling Detroit's comeback.
We went from 6 employees to 15 employees.
It's extremely important to have partnerships, to have large firms, team with small businesses, and have mentor-protege relationships.
The meeting place, Avalon International Breads, not only a true American success story, but an epic Detroit success story. The original location on Cass Avenue opened in 1997. It's still open, still serving. The company has grown from 4 employees to 200 and multiple locations, including this sprawling cafe on the shiny new section of Woodward Avenue. CEO Jackie Victor had some very specific messages she wants sent back to Washington.
And one of the things that's always been important for us, for our employees, is health care. And so I wanted to get the message across that we are supportive of a government program that encourages and supports health care for all people. And so that is a little different than what this administration is pushing.
99% of American businesses are small business. We create 2/3 of new jobs. So it's really important that the administration sees what small businesses do, what they contribute to the U.S. economy.
In fact, it was Jackie, the owner of this shop, was talking about how difficult it is to get a skilled and trained workforce. And I'm hearing that all over the country.
It's also important that Washington gets a more accurate picture of Detroit. Check that one off the list.
You know, it's very easy not to have been in Detroit for, I can't even remember how many years. To think about downtown Detroit as kind of a place that's inactive, that not a whole lot is going on.
That's what you thought?
That's what you thought. This is sort of the vision or the image you might have. So when I came and saw this incredibly vital city.
In many ways, what's happening in Detroit right now can be positioned and leveraged in other down on your luck, pull yourself up by the bootstrap urban centers around the country as a template for success. Stay tuned. That part of the story is coming up at 6, guys.
All right, we're looking forward to it. Thank you, Paula. So, question, are you that guy or that girl at the office? Ahead first at 4, the workplace jargon that may alienate you from your peers. Plus, Dr. McGeorge.
They're known as active workstations. I'm Dr. Frank McGeorge. The real question is, do they help or hurt work productivity? I'll have that answer coming up in Good Health.
We do have a tragic update to the breaking news we've been following in Trenton. The 11-year-old boy who was pulled from the Trenton Channel has died. He somehow fell into the water this afternoon. It took a dive team about an hour to find him. We are still working this story, and we'll bring you more information. We'll be right back.
Camper. Coming up all new on Local 4 News at 5 and 6.
A Metro Detroit judge who interfered with a drunk driving case involving his intern learns his punishment. New at 6, the decision just handed down by the state Supreme Court. Why not everyone is happy with it. In Good Health, they are known as active workstations. You know, those desks with treadmills, bikes, or ellipticals. While they may keep you active, the question is, do they really help or hurt work productivity? Dr. Frank McGeorge is at an active workstation with that answer from a new study. Doc?
Desks like this that at least allow you to stand, if not walk or cycle, have become more popular. But prior research has shown a slight impairment in typing speed and mouse use with active workstations like this, especially in the first few months of use while people are still getting used to them. Now, this latest study looked at more important job tasks like resisting distraction, multitasking, and planning ability. Participants' ages ranged from 18 to 65, and they used a treadmill desk during 50-minute sessions. Well, it turned out overall, most of the tasks remained completely unaffected by walking on the active workstation. The only exception, there was a slight reduction in performance on a task involving planning ability. But on the upside, even with the limited sessions, workers got half of their recommended daily steps in. That's good health. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Doc. Coca-Cola switching up their recipe and relaunching a new brand. They're calling this new pop their best tasting zero sugar drink yet. It's called Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. The drink will replace Coke Zero. The change is to focus on customers' goals to reduce their sugar intake. You'll see the new Zero Sugar Coca-Cola hit the store shelves next month.
I am nervous. That better be good.
I have to admit, I know that you are a big Coke. Are you what kind? What truckloads do you drink? The regular Coke?
No, the Coke Zero. I mean, if you're messing with that formula, this
you
better
don't
be
want
good.
a grumpy Ben Bailey. That's for sure. So we'll keep an eye on it. We're not grumpy about the weather because it's just really nice out there.
Yeah, it's not that bad. The humidity is back. That is noticeable, and we do have some thunderstorms that we need to watch. But right now, the temperatures are doing pretty good. They're a little bit below average. 81 right now at Metro, 80 in Ann Arbor. But when you start factoring in the humidity that's out there, even though it's not terrible, that is inching those heat index readings up just a couple degrees in spots. So feeling more like 82 at Metro right now. We will notice a little bit more humidity tonight as that continues to increase. So it's not going to be one of those comfortable sleeping nights with the windows open. One of our storm pins we got in, this is from Carlton. GR sent us a picture of this dove. It says she's actually sitting on her baby there. You can't see it, but he wishes he could have taken a picture of it. Appreciate that shot. And of course, we'd love to see what's going on in your neighborhood, especially when these storms start to roll in later on tomorrow. Tonight, the activity is going to be confined to really the northern part of our north zone. So most of us are going to stay dry. You see plenty of clouds out there on the satellite. That's probably not going to change as we get through the nighttime hours tonight. So going forward, once we get into the morning hours, this front gets a little bit closer to us and we could be seeing showers in some spots as soon as the morning commute. This is 8 a.m. tomorrow, but better chances as that front gets closer to us and we add a little bit more heat in the afternoon, and that'll bring in a few thunderstorms. The good news is it looks like the severe weather is going to stay south of us. So even though we will have some storms around, I think we'll skip out on the rough stuff. Dry out Thursday night. Humidity goes back down Friday, and that sets the stage for at least a pretty nice 3-day stretch. It's going to take us from Friday into the upcoming weekend. Here are the lows tonight. So with the clouds around, the higher humidity, these temperatures are only going to drop to 70 for an overnight low. Dearborn, Detroit right at that mark, and generally upper 60s through most of our metro zone. South zone temperatures by tomorrow morning right around 70, especially near the state line, a little bit cooler up towards Michigan Avenue. In our west zone, we're going to see those numbers generally in the mid to upper 60s. There's not going to be a whole lot of variation in these temperatures because of the cloud cover that's around, and the coolest spots are going to be up in Sanilac County, mid 60s, but it's still going to be humid, so keep that in mind tonight. Otherwise, high temperatures get to 83, and again, those better chances of thunderstorms roll in here in the afternoon, but we could be seeing a couple raindrops in the morning. It is dry from there on out. We've really pulled the chances of rain for early next week, and it's all sunshine taking us into the weekend. The one caveat is we may be close enough to that low to bring in a shower on Friday, but it is an outside shot. Otherwise, humidity still goes down and highs in the upper 70s. Karen?
It's not an earbud, it's much more important than that. Why this brand new device is giving some people a remarkable new sense of freedom. And they broke out of jail, and oh, they recorded it all. The new video of their escape and what they're up to now, coming up next. Time now for a look at today's top trending stories. A newly released video shows this. 3 inmates who broke out of a California jail last year from the point of view of the inmates themselves. Yes, they recorded it. The video was filmed with a contraband cell phone. It even has narration by one of the inmates. They're shown escaping jail through a vent that led to the roof. Photos of the trio's week on the run, visiting beaches and clubs in San Diego, and then taking a taxi driver hostage are also shown. All 3 men are now back in custody and facing new charges. Well, a new hearing implant is a big story that lots of folks are talking about today. It's coming out that will let users actually take calls and stream music wirelessly from iPhones and other Apple devices. Apple partnered with medical device company Cochlear Limited to produce Cochlear's first ever implant sound processor. It's called the Cochlear Nucleus 7. The FDA approved the device in June. The implants have both external and surgically inserted internal components. The new implant will launch in the United States in September. Okay, well, you may know Kit Kats as the chocolate candy with the wafer, one of my favorites. But in Asia, they actually prefer wasabi, green tea, even soy sauce flavor. Yeah, thanks to the popular demand of the exotic flavor kit. Kit Kat's a new factory is being built in Japan. The factory will start production of 300 different Kit Kat flavors as early as next month.
I saw online that they have a sake flavored Kit Kat.
See, I wouldn't even try it.
Nope.
Are you like that adventurous?
Why would you?
Why would you
I don't
mess?
want liquor in my candy.
I know, why would you mess? Now, this is pretty interesting. New study revealing what you should not say to your boss and coworkers if you want to gain their respect and possibly a promotion. It's being called the most irritating workplace jargon. So here are the top 6 phrases to avoid. One of them is glass door. That's number 6. Also, thought shower is number 5. And number 4, a game changer, followed by we're on a journey. Number 2, blue sky thinking. And the phrase found to be the most irritating, touch base.
I've never heard of thought shower.
And I never heard of blue sky thinking. Maybe that's what we're doing wrong. Maybe there's some, we should find out what this means.
More blue sky.
Just wanted to touch base with you on that, Beth.
Thank you.
Ahead first at 4, it's a letter many people look forward to opening at some point in their lives, but not many receive it quite like this.
Back to school, words that should bring excitement, but bring one local mom to tears.
You would never think you'd be terrified of going to school.
Her 3-year-old died last year at preschool. She says schools have done little to make other kids safe.
So I just want to make sure they're okay and other kids are okay.
But now the defenders are teaming up with the family to see if state lawmakers will take action.
Our role is to make sure that these types of tragedies never happen again.
The Defenders, tonight at 11.
Right now, it's a